Greetings, Earthlings. Rivers here. I've got a funny story to tell you. My dad and I really got along famously, except that we didn't always agree on one thing, which was kind of a big deal back in the early 1960s and mid 60s and late 60s, and that was hair length. Now, I didn't want to have short hair. I was tired of bowl cuts and crew cuts and looked like a bulldog. Anyway, I tried to get my hair to grow out, and the second that my hair would start to come over my ear, my dad would just start kind of freaking out. He'd just be kind of like, we got to get you in for a haircut. And so I wanted desperately to have long hair, and I wanted to grow mutton chop sideburns. And alas, I was never going to be able to grow sideburns. I've never tried to grow a beard, for instance, because I don't know if I even can, even at the humble age of 68. But at any rate, my dad and I didn't agree on the length of hair. He didn't like long hair. And I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be edgy, and I'm not very edgy. But I had these battles with him. So one Saturday morning, probably when I was 11 or 12, I was lounging in bed at the late hour of 8 a.m. And my dad, who didn't like to let the grass grow under his feet, came booming into my room, and he said, "Okay, we're going to go get you a haircut." And I go, "Oh, Dad, I don't want to get a haircut." And, "Oh, we're going to get you a haircut." So I'm rolling my eyes and breathing like, and I don't want to get a haircut. But my dad is a formidable person, and he was formidable about the length of my hair. So I get in the car, and we're driving around, and we stop at a couple of barber shops, and it's Saturday morning, and people are out getting their haircuts, and everything was all backed up. And so we just drove around a little bit more, and we were in Sugar House on about 2100 South and 500 East, and there was a place called Speedy's Barber Shop. Now, I can almost tell you just from the name of Speedy's that this is going to be one really crappy haircut. And lo and behold, I was right. So we park the car. There's nobody in the parking lot. We walk in, and there's nobody waiting for a haircut. There's just Speedy. Speedy, I think, must have been 105 years old. He had this big hair, white hair, and he had these hawk-like features, very sharp features. And he sort of kind of gruffly said, "Hop in the chair." And I look at my dad. My dad's got kind of this stupid smile on his face, like, this is going to be great. And I'm going, this is not going to be great. I get in the chair. He puts the kind of the sheet around so the hair doesn't get everywhere on me, and he starts to cut. And I can tell that this is not going to go good. And Speedy was not speedy. Well, when you're 105, you kind of slow down a little bit. So he started kind of cutting around my ear, and then he kept doing it over and over, and the sidewall kept growing between the ear and this, and I'm seeing this, and I'm looking at my dad, who's sitting in front of me with this really kind of goofy smile on his face. And he had taken a newspaper, and he pulled up the newspaper acting like he was reading the newspaper, and occasionally he'd bring it down and he'd have this really goofy smile on his face because he knew I was getting a super crappy haircut. And I was like in a panic. This was not going like I wanted to. And so I had sidewalls going way up like this, and a lot more hair was coming off my head back in the day when I actually had some hair. And I kept looking at my dad like, "What, Dad?" And so he'd be reading the paper, and then he'd pull it down, and he would smile, and then put it back up. I wanted to kill him. So Speedy did his unspeedy-like haircut. It was a terrible haircut. And I think I heard my dad chuckling behind the newspaper. And it was Monday. I was not looking forward to going to school because I had been butchered by Speedy the barber. So sometimes things like that happen.